It's Wild941, wild941.com. Joey Franchise here, holding it down with my guy, Tampa's own Ultimate Rap League legend in the making. My man Loso's here. What's happening, bro?
Man, we here, bro. Blessed, man. Long time coming, bro.
I know. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad you're finally here. You're doing big things. You're putting a lot of great content, doing a lot of shows, doing some tours. So I'm glad finally got to catch you in the middle of all that to kind of chop it up. So tell me a little bit about yourself, because a mutual friend of ours, Larry 2K.
Yep.
Shout out to Tim.
Larry.
He kind of connected us, and I've always been a fan of you and what you do. Because coming up, in radio as a DJ, I've always admired and always appreciated the rap battle aspect of hip hop. So just tell me a little bit of, are you originally from Tampa?
Nah, man. So Queens, New York.
Okay.
But unfortunately, and my family in New York, they always get mad that I don't rep New York. But I just feel like there's so many people doing that anyway, especially in battle rap, that I kind of don't need to. But I moved down here when I was 10, and so because of that, I mean, you got to think about it. That's middle school, that's high school, that's your first fight, first everything. You know what I'm saying? So for me, everything that kind of made me who I am came from Tampa anyway. And so when I started getting some notoriety in the battle rap culture, I was every time somebody asked me, I'm just like, yo, I'm from Tampa. You know what I'm saying? That's who raised me. That's where I'm from. So, but originally, yes, Queens, New York. Puerto Rican and Colombian. Moved down here. My mom, you know what I'm saying, single mother, single parent household, and so from there, I want to say in 2013 is kind of where I started creating consistent content. I was doing some freestyles, and I did these open mics, and every time I would finish doing an open mic, people would always just pull me aside, be like, yo, your mannerisms are kind of like that of a battle rapper. And you got to think about, for me, I mean, I remember being 13 watching Murder Mook. You know what I'm saying?
I remember being in college. Murder Mook, I interviewed Murder Mook on my my college radio station.
Fire. Yeah. That's the homie, man. So for me, hearing that, I was always like, man, that's a dope compliment, but I can't do what those guys do. I already was, I'm a huge fan. There's just no way I could do what they do. So, but in the later half of 2013, there was this 16 bar challenge. It was all these rappers from around the country. They go ahead and submit a verse, and if you submit a verse and you get accepted, they'll choose the top 10, and you fly out to Chicago and you'll compete in this tournament type of joint. And I was one of the dudes who got pushed into it. And so MC Jin, 106 and Park, he was the one, he was the main judge hosting it. And so, but I end up doing it, and long story short, man, I end up winning the whole competition.
Wow.
Right? And this is my first time ever doing it. He pulls me aside. He says, yo, you need to do battle rap. He was like, yo, if anybody, I don't tell people this often, but and I always shout him out too. He knows this is a homie of mine, but I always tell Jen, yo, if Jen didn't tell me, I probably would not be battle rapping. And so after that, I put up a little post on Facebook, and I said, yo, any Tampa leagues, I just want to do it as a bucket list. That's why I just want to see if I can do it. And so shout out to Enter the Dungeon. It was a league that was going on at the time. His name was Annex. He was running the league, and he saw that I put the post up, and I had no footage, and he was just like, yo, do you got any freestyles, any acapellas? And I said, yeah, I got something right here. So I sent him a 10-minute freestyle. Wow. And he watches it, and within 20 minutes he inboxes me and says, where the hell have you been? And so he puts me on the next joint, and the ripple effect of that first battle was so big that it was so drastic that I couldn't just sit back and say, all right, I'm not going to do it no more. People kept asking. And so little by little after that, a couple steps happened. So, within 6 months, you know what I'm saying? I was a household name. And so, yeah.
That's so dope, man.
Yeah.
What were some of those guys, going back to the the MC Jins, and you talk about 106 in Park, and how big Freestyle Fridays used to be.
Yeah.
Who was some of your favorites coming up? I'm obviously Jim might have been on that. Top.
I mean, I remember, bro. I just remember being in the house running home after school watching 106 in Park, because you had to catch Freestyle Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about Poster Boy. I'm talking about MC Jin. Even when Loaded Lux was running through it, you know what I'm saying? I remember just being such a huge fan. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then 8 Mile came out, and I just remember, this is before I ever even had a thought of battle rapping. I just gravitated towards anything in that era. You know what I'm saying? Anything in that area, I was just like, man, it just seems so authentic. Hip hop at its core to me was battling. And so I would run to those guys. And then obviously, when I was in high school, some dude had a CD and he just had Murder Mook versus Jay Mills on the CD.
Yeah, right. I had a guy like that too, peddling them joints all through the halls.
And instead of listening to Lil Wayne or anybody that we was on at that time, like I was just like, man, put this back on, put this battle back on. And I just like listening to the lyrics and delivery and the enunciation of words and like the metaphors, all these different things that was going on. And then YouTube was popping at the time, so I'm on YouTube every day watching all these battles. And so little did I know, like I said, I was learning, I was studying, because I was memorizing how they would rap and I was seeing how they rapped. And like I said, when I would do open mics, it would look like that, it would feel like that. And all these other spoken word artists around me who would just do regular poetry, when I came up there, it seemed like somebody was battling you, but with like content. And they were just like, yo, we never seen this before. And in my head, I'm like, I see this all the time. Yeah. So yeah, those were a couple of influences growing up.
That's so cool, man. And getting back to the spoken word, you do more than just battle rap. You do the spoken word thing, and also you take them to church too.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit too how you kind of balance all those, because you don't ever want to look like everybody looks like Kanye, for example. He does about what he used to rap about, but then him being a Christian, and then now he's doing the gospel. He looks almost like he's contradicting himself.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time, like, I want whatever, like, my worldview is gonna be influenced. I mean, like my music, my spoken word, everything's gonna be influenced by my worldview. You know what I'm saying? So faith is a big part of who I am. God is a big part of who I am. And so when I was doing these spoken words, I was just communicating life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, like, for me, I remember a big turning point for me was my cousin. He ends up getting murdered through gang-related activity out in Brandon, Florida. And this is like my best friend. I'm talking about the dude who taught me how to play football, how to play basketball, how to talk to a girl, like all these different things. And so when he was taken away from me, I remember just having like this like crisis in my life where I kind of was just like, yo, I just need some answers. And so whenever I would speak, it was mainly like me to God, because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have no father. You know what I'm saying? I had no father figure. So hip hop was that. Like, so for me, learning how to be a man, I was looking to, this is what Jay-Z says, that you have to be a man. This is what Tupac says. This is what, but for me, I had to like find like an absolute understanding of what manhood is. You know what I'm saying? What being responsible is, what having an authoritative figure in your life. And so that's why whenever you hear me do my stuff, it's not just the same old stuff that you just click on from any other rapper that you'll get in the city. Right. It's somebody who's like, yo, you know what, he has a message, he has something that he wants to communicate, and we may be talking about the same subject matter, but like I said, it's a different worldview. And so, but yeah, so it's not just battle rap, but I'm also doing, I'm always doing music. I try to drop a single every time I have like a big battle coming around. I also do spoken word, and so in September and October I will be on tour for about 10 weeks straight, hitting every major city in the country. But this is it's dope because it's a spoken word joint, and I'm talking about like thousands and thousands of people come out to these joints, and like I didn't know the fan base was so huge. But when I tell you, like, college women love poetry, bro. They love poetry, so they're all out there. So
fellas, take notes.
Yeah, exactly. If you single, you're looking for a relationship, man, go to a poetry slam. But so it's myself, it's 2 other battlers, and then it's 3 other poets that would be on here. But the thing about it though is that when I'm up there, I'm trying to communicate as much as I can in a poetry format, but the same thing, like my mannerisms, my delivery, punchlines, metaphors, it's very, very, very heavy into my content. And so we'll be going from, like I said, from September and October, we'll be doing 10 weeks, and then every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's a different show in a different city. Yeah. And so, but that's just something different. You know what I'm saying? I've never done anything in that realm, that spoken word. And we did actually a pop-up show out in Boston earlier this year, and it was packed. We did about 800 people there. They loved it. I premiered a new piece called "Here's the Tea," and it was just about gossip. And I mean, the roof went off. You know what I'm saying? And so it's almost like I try to tell people, like, but this specific one, don't think of it like somebody just walking up to a mic with like a little hat, you know what I'm saying, drums. Like, it's nothing like, I tell people, I said, like, it's like if battle rap met like a Tyler Perry type of scene, because it's like there's like theatrics to it, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, I try to make sure like there's the piece that I'm doing, like I'm sitting at this like coffee shop, and I got this waiter coming up to me, and so like there's different dynamics out,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm really getting tea, but the thing about it though, everything inside the tea is a metaphor, from the spoon to the Lipton packet, you know what I'm saying? And that correlates with our lips, you know what I'm saying? Like what comes out, like all these different things. And so the people there, the honey, everything that's on my table, I'm utilizing as imagery for the fans, and they're looking at it like, oh snap, like he's bringing it to life, and on top of that, there's a message that's being strung along throughout the whole time. That's just one. So me and my boy, we do a mental health piece on there, and we just try to touch on different topics that don't get talked about a lot. And so I'm really excited for that. But battle rap is always the main thing. So I always got to make sure I take some time out and like, all right, I got to focus on this.
Of course,
that's the bread and butter right there.
And getting back to the battle rap aspect of things, has there ever been? Well, I want to talk about how you not that long ago you battled somebody. You posted on your IG. You actually used his own name against him.
Yeah.
So it's like these things when you're preparing for a battle. Like, is it equivalent to preparing for a boxing match? Like, how do you prepare?
Oh, yeah.
And not to give away too much of the sauce, but
right. So, so if you walked into my office, I got like a vision board, and every time I get a new opponent, boom, I erase it and I put it. So I put the name up there, and then I'll watch their battles for about, let's say once I get the contract, they'll give me the contract and be like, Los, we want you to battle such and such on August 27th in New Orleans.
It's so far, it's like boxing, though.
Yeah,
like
and
UFC.
so once we negotiate our prices and stuff like that, boom, I'll get into the lab. Once I sign that contract, I'm zoned in, and so as I'm zoned in, I'm watching his battles, and I'm seeing, okay, what does he like to do? What rounds does he usually go up? Not every battler does this. Some battles, they just start writing, gun bars and whatever they want to do, which is fine. For me though, there's a thought process. Okay, what rounds does he like to go up? Where does he like to heat up at? What does he rely on? Wordplay? Is it punches? Is it comedic relief? What is it? And so I'm writing all this stuff down, and I'm saying, okay, now, how can I go ahead and present this to the audience who's going to be watching us? How can I present these things as flaws? Like, because I need to make him look different in front of them. Because as he's rapping, he's going to be looking like a god. But when I start rapping, I need to make sure that I'm communicating something to them about him to make them be like, you know what? Maybe he's not really who he is. You know what I'm saying? and so I'll take but the name is just one thing, right? So I was battling a guy named King Jables, and I wanted to make sure, and his name is James. But I was doing like this, I did like a whole segment of like King James, LeBron, and showing like how he's not really a king. He's not really nothing like King James, and so there was like this correlation with that. But that's just one thing. I did, a popular one. I won round of the year last year in all of battle rap, and the round was basically off of this is my homegirl though, so shout out to her. She hates it when I bring up, but her name's Vixen. She's probably the number one female battle rapper right now. But she's half white and half black. But but in her battles, there was a time where she was identifying as white, and then she'll identify as black. And so I did this segment where like, yo, this is privilege, how you're able to kind of jump in and out, because she's light skinned and stuff. But I had this whole concept of like, okay, black and white, how was I gonna break this down? And people just raved over it, and it went crazy. And so I try to treat it like an essay. I want every paragraph, every round, right, each 3 rounds, I want each round to have like the thesis, and as you're listening to it, you could remember, you could be like, yo, Loso's first round was this, and his second round was that. It's not just a bunch of punchlines, but like, oh, he talked about that, then he talked about this. And obviously the real issue for me is, okay, how do I entertain and educate at the same time? Those two things.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't ever want to want to divorce the two. I want to make sure that I am educating you on something, but I'm also entertaining, because I don't want to just be boring. And then on the flip side, I don't want to just be entertaining to you, because I want this to last. I want my content. A lot of battles you don't really have replay value. I want to make sure that my content 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, you could go back and you could learn something new from it. So
I respect that, man. We're here with Loso, man. Everything Loso on that IG. Make sure you show him some love. Follow. Definitely check out a lot of the clips that he does from his battles. What would you say was maybe your toughest battle to date, if you have one?
Yeah. I would say in 2017,
That's years ago.
Yeah, and not because
he ain't been challenged since.
But this is the thing, though. This thing, like I've definitely had like tough battles within, but I'm talking about preparing for.
Okay.
Because in the battle, like obviously battles end up being tough just because of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about like the toughest battle that I remember sitting down and I said, damn, like what do I say to such and such? His name is B-Dot. He's out in the West Coast. One of the best battle rappers of all time. But at the time, he was this West Coast conscious dude. And I was this East Coast, faith-based dude. And so we're both rising. And then we were just like, all right, we got a battle now. And we ended up battling in Atlanta. And the reason why I would say he was the toughest, or he's the toughest to prepare for, it was because that was the first time that I had looked across the stage and I saw somebody who could do everything I could do. There was times where I was battling an individual and I said, oh, he's nice here, but his delivery ain't better than mine.
Right.
Or this dude, he's good, but he don't really got the image, or he don't got whatever it is. This was the first time that I looked across the stage and I said, that dude's a Swiss Army knife. Just like me. I feel like I am. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could get in and out of pockets. I could do whatever. It's not really a lane that I don't feel comfortable doing. And I thought that he could, and I feel like he can do all that. And he did. And it's one of the best battles though of all time though. And so, but yeah, that was the first time that I felt that. Like I said, there's always gonna be different challenges and for different reasons, right? Like this dude may just be super popular and I gotta compensate for that, or this dude just may be super aggressive and I gotta like think, okay, how do I attack that? But that was the first real challenge for me where I was like, okay, what's the game plan?
Right.
So
that's awesome. And just seeing where rap battling has gone from where it started, man. Shout out to Smack. We came up in the same era where Smack DVDs, you being that kid, hitting the bootlegs, going to the bodega,
exactly.
copping the latest one, and I felt like that right there was hip hop at its most like entertaining. You know what I mean? Where you felt like your favorite rappers at the time, like the Games, the Beanie Siegels, Jadakiss, 50, you name it. I mean,
come on.
50 pretty much championed, like putting it, the battle on wax. And to see it now, URL just Smack evolving from the DVD era to now the the URL and being on Caffeine now. You got Drake embracing the culture. I mean, how does that feel like doing what you do and seeing that it's being recognized and it's actually elevating as time goes on? It's
wild. So and something crazy, like I just finished talking to, like, Joe Budden's hitting me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's DMing me, and we just, like, to me, it's crazy because, like, you're fans of these guys. Like, for Chris Brown to know who you are, or Drake to know who you are, or Joe Budden, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they're names in the culture. This isn't just like, and then you got athletes. Like I'm able to, I was able to go to some Bucks games in the Skybox, and then I'm out of town. I'm able to go to an NBA game because such and such is just a fan. And so it's funny because within Tampa, there's places where if you probably just go around and you just be like, yo, who's Loso? They'll be like as far as just artists, right? If you just say like, yo, who is the Mount Rushmore in Tampa, or who are the artists, right? My name probably won't get brought up. But what's crazy though, if you take me and you take the top 10 artists in Tampa and you drop us in the middle of Times Square, I'm gonna shake 50 hands and I'm gonna take 20 pictures before somebody recognizes one of them. That's just what it is. Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna be a soundbite that I'm gonna get killed for, but I'm just saying though, this how crazy it is though, right? So like with me, it's just dope to see how far battle rap reaches, but at the same time, it's a lot of people who don't know what's going on. Like when I tell people like, yo, I'm a full-time battle rapper, like and it's awkward because you get. I'm playing at the Y sometimes with some grown men, and they're telling me, yeah, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. It's like, oh, what do you do for a living? I'm like, they're like, oh, yeah, you live in South Tampa. I see your house. What do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a battle rapper. It's like, what? But I'm like, nah, like this isn't like back in the day where like if you said you were a battle rapper, you were getting clowned because you quote unquote couldn't make it in music. Right. Nah, like this is like Smack. Shout out to Smack, bro. Like he's really grown. He's really elevated the battle rap platform to a place where we can make a living off of it. Not everyone does it, but like there's a core few battle rappers who literally have made a living off of it and have been able to venture out and start other things too. And so you're right, like I said, bro, like being able to team up with some of the biggest stars and just be known by certain things. there's like I said, I grew up watching these people.
Yeah.
And so some of them are my peers, and then some of them are friends now, and so I could never imagine this, but that just goes to show you, man, like, you know, you stay faithful to the grind, you know what I'm saying? You stay faithful to what you believe God has called you to, and like anything is possible. So, but I also don't take it for granted either. Like, I mean, I know I could be hot today, and then tomorrow I'm like, all right, bet I got to go back to teaching, which is fine. I love teaching, you know what I'm saying? But I go back there, you know, and it's, you know, it's okay with that. But at the same time, you know, I always try to make sure whenever I go out, bro, I'm saying Tampa's name. I'm reading back to my city. Like I said,
love,
you know,
man.
I always want to do that, man.
For sure.
So, and like even for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even there's an aspect to it of just being Latino and just, you know, or just coming up in this culture, like it's kind of difficult or whatnot. But I just want to make sure that my footprint is in the sand. People know that I was here, and you know, we gonna keep rocking out to then, you know.
And it was recognized, you know. Recently, you just received an award. Mike Evans had held a ceremony, awarded you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. How that felt?
So he does a foundation. He has a Mike Evans Foundation, and it was a big. I mean, I didn't even know it was gonna be this big, but it was a huge gala, and so he did a 13 pillar. So he chose 13 people within the city who has been impacting it. And so I was chosen for me, because a lot of people don't know I was an English teacher for 4 years too. So the work I was doing with the kids, and then obviously who I am as a battle rapper. And so I didn't know how crazy it was going to be until I got there. And when I got there, you know, being awarded by him coming up to me and was like, yo, big fan, bro, salute, you know, and then I kind of knew something was up, because when he followed me, I was like, all right, you know, what's up with this? And then, bro, I was just standing still, and I'm looking at the door. This is literally right in the beginning of the gala, and I'm just looking at this door, but I'm talking to somebody. The door opens up, and Tom Brady walks by, and I'm like, I just freeze up. I could have been the first one to get a picture from him. I freeze up, and I didn't want to be that guy. He walks by me, and 200 people swarm him. And so I didn't get no picture. I didn't get to talk to him and that like that. But it was crazy just seeing him in the building.
Yeah.
And so, and being
it's like a unicorn.
You know, and being presented with an award, you know, in front of all those people. And so that's just one thing, you know. But I mean, I was also invited to Washington D.C. and I got it was they gave me this Latino Trailblazer Award.
Word.
Yep. And so that was real dope, you know, for my people. I mean, I've won out in New York. They had this small award show, but it was something dope for me. Like out of like certain battle rappers and artists, I was given the Lyricist of the Year award. You know, so there's a bunch of different things that I've been given throughout my career, and so like you said, I don't take none of that for granted. I love being recognized. I don't let it. My biggest battle though is not letting the praise get to my head. You know what I'm saying? And then, but on the flip side though, because I'm in battle rap, it's not like music where you put your music out and it's for the masses who love you. Battle rap is for the culture, and the culture will either hate you or love you, bro. And the hate is loud just as much as the love, bro. And so I try not to let the praise get to my head, but I don't let the criticism get to my heart either. So that's the battle that I'm always fighting, to make sure that I'm like, I just keep a good view of who I am. I want to be like, yo, you know what? I'm doing this work, but I'm not too high, not too low. I'm right here. This is who I am. I'm Loso, and you know, you rock with it if you want to rock with it. You know, if you don't, that's fine.
There you go, man. Loso here, man. Appreciate you taking the time out, brother.
Always, man.
Let them know where they can follow you. I know you got a lot of things popping off on Caffeine as well.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. So you can actually hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. The name is Everything Loso. That's literally, you can find everything about me on those two sites, or you go to my website, everythingloso.com. Like he said, man, I'll be going on tour for 2 months in September, October. You catch me in your city doing some spoken word. I got a battle in New Orleans in August 27th. So if you out there, make sure you pull up. It's a huge smack event. And we got some more announcements coming up, man. So, and also got a music video and a single coming up soon. I'll be in Colombia shooting the music video August 6th. The song is already done, but come right back and then hopefully drop it right before that battle August 27th.
There you have it, man.
And then me and Joey working on some stuff too, man.
We got something cooking up. I can't wait for that. We got to get in the studio real soon,
exactly.
man. I know schedules be crazy.
Yes, sir.
But yo, tap in, wild941.com. Francismo Loso, we out.
Yes, sir.